There is big news for Valeant Pharmaceuticals and its shareholders. The company announced that CEO Michael Pearson is to return to work. He has of course been on medical leave since late December.
I think this is a major development for Valeant, despite the fact that Pearson obviously sits front and centre in terms of the challenges that the company has faced over the past 9 months or so. While the interim CEO has at times appeared to be doing a good job of steadying the ship, there's definitely still work to be done. A lot of previously supportive analysts were scratching their heads last week when news leaked ahead of a press release that the company would be restating its financial results for the past 2 years. Unfortunately for shareholders, confirmation of Pearson's return is offset by the fact that Valeant has rescheduled its Q4 earnings call and withdrawn its 2016 guidance.
So, some continued uncertainty at Valeant, and also reports this past weekend suggesting that GlaxoSmithKline is starting its search for a new CEO. So what's the story here?
Well, if the rumours are to be believed, it would appear that GlaxoSmithKline has initiated its strategy to find a successor to Andrew Witty, the current CEO. The suggestion is that his replacement could potentially take the helm at some point next year.
Is this a sign that shareholder pressure on Witty has become unsustainable?
It's obviously impossible to tell for sure, but Witty has faced growing criticism from a number of prominent shareholders in recent months. This despite completing an innovative asset swap deal with Novartis last year, which was almost universally praised as a method of strategic realignment that other pharmaceutical companies could follow.
What has been the main criticism of Witty?
While the Novartis deal strengthened GSK's position in the consumer healthcare and vaccine markets, segments where the company's had a long-term sector-leading presence, there's an argument from certain shareholders that the company would now benefit from being split into smaller businesses. There's something of a trend for big pharma breakups at the moment. We've seen AbbVie emerge from Abbott in the last couple of years. Pfizer continues to moot the idea of breaking up, despite its acquisition of Allergan. And Johnson & Johnson is also cited as a larger company which would benefit from slimming down. And talk of these breakups has gained favour among analysts and investors. Also, probably the most controversial element of the Novartis asset swap was Witty's decision to divest Glaxo's portfolio of marketed cancer products. So at a time when the oncology market is viewed as a significant growth opportunity for the industry, the company has scaled back its presence considerably. Now, Witty's argued that the price offered was just too good to turn down, and that Glaxo is not particularly well positioned at the moment to compete with the new generation of cancer immunotherapies which are coming to the market. But to some extent, this justification undermines the company's longer-term aspirations to remain an active player in cancer R&D.
And what about innovative R&D in general versus the more secure vaccine and consumer healthcare portfolios?
I think an improvement here in terms of innovative R&D is an area that shareholders are gunning for by arguing that the company should split up. And while Witty's overseen a notable improvement in new drug approval rates, he's not really seen the impact of those new launches feed through in terms of top-line performance. This is partly due to falling sales of existing products, but it's also because new launches haven't entirely met expectation. This isn't really a weakness that can be levelled at Witty, however. GlaxoSmithKline's largely failed to live up to expectation in terms of new drug launches and its pipeline in general over the past decade.